Hi everyone, it's Heidi from flutterbyheidi.co.uk, back again with another project for you, and this time it's a thank you card which is designed to show off some of our lovely new stamp sets, of course, and some bit of a new and old on here. This is a new stamp set called Heart Happiness, which has this lovely floral panel in it, but I'm then using our lovely sweet and sassy heart dies to die cut those hearts, and also the petal burst folder to give that lovely embossed panel. So we're going to start off with the stamping of the image in the centre, and I'm going to be using, on that one I used markers, on this one I'm going to be using our stamping blends instead, so I'm therefore inking my stamp up, and because it's a large stamp I'm taking the ink pad to the stamp, and then having stamped that in memento I'm literally going to find my stamping pierce mat. Yes, here it is, because it's a photopolymer stamp. There you go. Let's just re-ink that, because my ink obviously dries quite quickly under the lights I've got on here while I'm filming, and literally just straight down, just nice press all over, not too hard, and there you get a nice crisp image. So just leave that to dry for a few seconds, and while we do I'll just talk about the different layers that I have on here. So I've created a card base which is a 4.5 inch, 4 3/4 inch card base. So it's 9 3/4 inches and then scored at 4 3/4, 9.5 scored at 4 3/4. So that's actually 12 inches. So it's 24 centimetre by 12 centimetres, again scored at 12. That creates a square card base which you're going to use as a tent fold. Then the next layer is just 1/4 inch, so that's 4.5 inches. So while that's drying we can layer these up. So that would be 11.5 centimetres. And just add that, and I'm using the pink pirouette ink on here, ink card even. Then I'm using a layer of Melon Mambo, so that one is just 4 1/4 inches. So as I said, 4.5 inches it should be, thereabouts. I'll add all the dimensions to my blog, but 4 3/4, 4.5, 4 1/4 inches, and this is Melon Mambo, and then 4 inches for the petal burst panel. And don't forget, when you're using a deep embossing fold like this one, if you want to avoid it cracking, just mist it slightly with a bit of water before you put it through the embossing fold, and that will just help to create a lovely embossed image without it cracking. So by now this should be nice and dry, so I'm just going to come in and literally just use a range of markers to come in and colour. So I'm kind of looking for all the flowers that are a similar nature, and I'm just going to come in and colour those in. Okay, so it doesn't look much to start off with, but as you gradually add more and more, and obviously for the small pieces it's easier to use the bullet tips than it is to use the brush. So as you can see, I'm just coming in with all of those. I'm just spotting all of the leaves and just colouring those using the old olive markers. Try not to colour the flowers in. I might have to make that a darker looking flower, I think. So you literally, and it's quite therapeutic to come in and do this actually. It is one of those things that they do recommend if you want to do something. It's a bit of what they call mindfulness. just come in and do some colouring. It just takes you away from the stresses of life. I'm just going to grab a yellow. And what I might do is use my remover. That is one of the beauties of this is that you can actually come in and gradually go over, and that'll lift the colour. So I'll come back to that in a moment. There you go, I can go over that now. I just thought these looked like grape hyacinths, these, so I've kind of used a this one's actually a light Night of Navy, but I sort of thought it's that, you know, grape hyacinths have that lovely sort of bluey purple kind of colour. Some flashes here. So you can literally come in and you can make this as, you know, single colour. You can add as much depth as you want. And it's just a question of coming in and deciding which are the flowers, which are the leaves, and how much you want to do. And I say it's well, I can say it's easy to do, easy to come in. And it's the sort of thing, if you're making lots of cards, it's actually very easy, because you can then come you could stamp a whole load of these images to start off with, and then you could come back in and die cut them all later. You know, you could take them away on a train or whatever and do some colouring. And anyway, at the end of it, you end up with just a very pretty panel like this, and that just needs to go through my die cutting machine. Now, what I would suggest is that when you are die cutting, that you might want to use a little bit of washi tape on either side, just to hold it in place, because having gone to the care and attention of colouring it in, you don't want to end up with a squiffy die cut. So just literally cut a piece, but put it on the outside so it's not going to damage your panel. And then when you come back in, you will have a panel like so. I haven't done that one as accurately as I might have liked, actually, but there we go. And then all I've done is, as you can see, is layer that up onto a piece of pink pirouette cardstock, and then pop that with some dimensionals, which seem to have, I've just, oh no, I can't find my dimensionals. The earth will stop. Oh dear. Right, so I'll have to use some other adhesive and just pop those up. So just put that away. And there's our panel. And then the last bit of this is to actually stamp our sentiment. And for this, I'm using another new stamp set, which is this one here, Petal Palette. And this is a two-part stamp set. So this part is the one that has the sentiments in it. And I've got a thank you one, and then there's a for everything. And literally all I've done with those, all I'm going to do is take a scrap of Whisper White, So, one of those offcuts when you're trimming card down. And then I might want to use, yes, I think I might want to use a slightly darker pink than that actually. So actually I'm going to use my Melon Mambo. And I'm going to cut these out twice because I want to have a reasonable border around them. And all you need to do is literally just free cut these out. So what I mean is I want to come right up close there. And the 4 I can use from this one here by coming right up close to the E. And it just gives it a little bit more of a gap around it. And these are great to stick on when I find them with my mini dimensionals, because they're, little teeny tiny ones. And literally all you do is just come in with each of these. And it just adds, a little bit of fun to instead of having a very straight sentiment, you can really mix up, and you can also mix up fonts as well. The only problem is this way you need to keep track of what you have cut out because it's very easy to lose them. So just use some, literally just some foam on the reverse. And we can pop our thank there. Thank you. And our 4 and everything at the bottom. And there we have a quick thank you card using some old and some new. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed that project. Come back and see me again soon. And don't forget to visit my shop, heidismith.stampinup.net, to make your purchases, or contact me. Details on my blog, www.flutterbyheidi.co.uk. Bye now.